Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Midweek Fix. It's me again, Chris Brack, and I'm here with partners in crime, Kev and Luke, and we're joined by Kendall. How are we all doing?
Oh, good, mate. Yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad.
And it's not Friday yet, so it's weird to
I know,
all
I
of
know.
us here.
Yeah,
People will be sick of us three, aren't they? God.
Yeah.
Once a week's normally enough, isn't it?
True.
Yeah.
True that.
Cool.
Well,
Kendall,
you
how's
said
things
it.
with you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just finished watching the PSG Real Madrid game, which was insane. That's what you want for the Champions League. That's what you need. But yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, it was PSG messing up again and Pochettino messing up in a big game. Who'd have thought it, eh? But still, he'll be Man United manager next year, so we could all laugh at him again. Cool. So, right. So, housekeeping first. Smash the like button. Share if you can. And Kev, because we're really good at this. So, we're going to talk about BetMate.
Yeah,
We're shocking at this, aren't we? We're really bad at this. So,
right. The
Give you an
deal
update.
is, I was going to say, the deal is tomorrow night there's a group of 3 Premier League fixtures. Norwich v Chelsea, Southampton v Newcastle, Wolves v Watford. And we got to pick 11 players, 2
Max.
from each
Max
of the
season
6
winning
clubs, 2 from 5 clubs and 1 from 1.
and then
usual rules.
and then Norwich can push off.
Yeah. Usual rules apply. 3 defenders, 3 midfielders, 3 forwards, one of which will be on the bench, 2 will start for each position, and 2 keepers from the 6 clubs. No budgets, no nothing. All we have to do is pick them. So if you guys in the chat have any ideas of who you'd like to see in from those 6 clubs, who should we be going for? Who's in your fantasy team that's giving you loads of points? Start throwing names in, and we'll see what we can muster up between the 4 of us.
Cool. And BetMate have also said to us they're revealing something new and really exciting this weekend. So if you sign up this weekend, there'll be a new feature going live this weekend. They're very hush about it, but it sounds like a new thing. So again, BetMate, you can sign up for free, and you can just do the free pots, or you can join in with the pots where you're going against other punters. But again, like we say, with all gambling, please gamble responsibly. But also, it's a bit of fun. But also, we're going to get Kendall to pick our team because, let's be honest, us 3 are crap at it. We've got nowhere near.
I don't think I'm much better mind, let's be honest.
Well, you ain't going to be here when the results come in, so Kendall's.
Yeah, I'm just hiding.
But yeah, I've seen the names coming in already. Rudiger, Shea Adams,
James Ward-Prowse.
Ooh, that's a nice one actually. You'd be interested.
Coutinho as well. Coutinho will be a good one as well.
He's not playing.
He's not playing. No Villa.
No.
No
Villa.
Villa tomorrow night.
No,
No, Leeds and Villa do play tomorrow night.
Yeah, Leeds Villa tomorrow night.
It's not in that pot. It's not in that pot.
They're not in that pot.
So the only teams that Wolves, Watford, Southampton, Newcastle, and Norwich, Chelsea. So
stick Big Joel into the midfield. He'll do a great job.
Would he get?
Actually, he's classed as I think he's classed as forward in the game. So
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I think he is in not like Premier League FPL as well. I think he's classed as a forward as well.
Yeah,
He'll be classed as a midfielder next season.
Yeah, he will.
He will
probably.
He will. Nailed on 100% certainty.
Oh,
But
awesome.
look, we'll come around to picking that team in a sec. One bit of housekeeping that Gav was insistent that we mention, and it's down to all of you guys in the chat, me, Chris, Luke, Kendall, anyone who's watched. We've hit 2.5 million views as a channel. That is absolutely top bananas, man. That is brilliant. When you think about the amount of times that we've all been in the chat together with all of you guys, and it all totted up, and we're at 2.5 million views. That's brilliant. So well done to everyone in the chat, and thanks so much for being here every week, every night, 10 p.m. You're always there, and you're fantastic, every single one of you.
Yeah, it doesn't go unnoticed. We all do really appreciate all the views and all the fun. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good. Right. So should we start picking a team for a bit of fun?
Yep. Well, we may as well start with the 2 keepers, right?
I've seen someone put Sonny Kang's put keep Chris away from all picks. To be fair, Kevin and I together, I've got the best score so far.
Yeah, no, but it's usually me picking them.
Just throwing that out there, I mean, if we're throwing shade, the chat had the worst result so far. I'm just saying.
If we've got to pick 2 keepers, right? Who's going to get clean sheets?
Well, what I've seen Sarr mentioned already from Wolves.
Yeah, Jose
Yeah.
Sarr will be a good one.
He does very well normally. Jose
Yeah.
Sarr,
Yeah,
a keeper who, let's be honest, I openly admit I wasn't a massive fan of, but I only saw him from his Porto days. I thought he was
He's got unlucky this season with a few
dreadful.
bits.
This year he's been really good. You know,
Yeah,
when we played him, he was a nightmare. You know,
But he went from Porto to Olympiacos, and he almost had a complete career reset. And he's rebuilt. He's got back into the Portugal setup as well. I think he's still Portugal's number 2 behind Rui Patricio. But coming into the Wolves setup with the Portuguese links that they have there, it was like home away from home. So he's done amazing. But I'd start him.
Yeah, so the choice is him or Mendy. Laura Duffy's asking how do the points work? So goalkeepers wise, you get points for depending how many minutes you do. Clean sheets is 3 points. Penalty saves is 5 points as well. And then you also get massive points if you score a goal or get an assist.
Addison's not playing, so
yeah. So,
I think Mendy's clean sheet is surely locked in against Norwich. Got to be.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'd almost want 2 other players from Chelsea.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, that's a good point.
Like Kai Havertz, also because he's been playing really well.
And you would want a defender from Chelsea as well, wouldn't you? Because they've been smashing points for me on FPL.
Yeah.
Reece James is injured, by the way. He's re-aggravated his injury, so he's out.
Yeah. Well, should we do Sarr as a starter then, and then we'll come back to the other goalie in a minute.
We'll come back to the other goalie after see who we got left. Because in fairness, Sarr will play.
Defensively, who are we thinking defensively then? Are we thinking? Well, the one thing Wolves don't do is concede goals, and they're playing Watford. That could be arse, I know that, but they are playing Watford.
Commentators.
I'm trying to think if there's any of the 6 sides with defenders that take set pieces.
Let's have a look.
Alonso,
Matty Target takes ours now.
Takes corners. Yeah.
Alonso for Chelsea.
Alonso for Chelsea. Or Rudiger tends to get goals from set pieces. So
I like Rudiger. He keeps getting me points in FPL. Him and Silva. That's my back two in FPL. So
we probably should go with Rudiger. To be fair, I think it's been shouted.
Yeah, I'll
got a lot of shouts in the chat as well. For
definitely go with Rudiger.
If you were saying for Cody or Kilman for Wolves,
Kilman's all right, but I think the best you'll get from the Wolves defenders is going to be clean sheet points.
Yeah, the other one, and I'm not trying to upset Kendall, is the chap from Southampton. Is it Salisu?
Salisu, he gets interceptions for fun.
He's had an excellent season.
He's a really decent defender, Salisu.
Really snapped up.
They did well. Yeah, they did well picking him up, to be fair.
Yeah, so do we want to put him in as a potential other defender? Or do we, as the 2 others you want better from Southampton? Because
Southampton, you probably want James.
Southampton, you would have James Ward-Prowse or Shea Adams would be the other ones, wouldn't it? But I'm sure you probably out of them, attacking wise, you'll probably get something from Wolves or Chelsea. So you could have Salisu.
Okay, I'd go with Salisu. Yeah,
I've got Rudiger and Salisu so far. And who do you want for a third defender?
You could go with Connor Cody because he'd be on the bench. And that takes up one of the Wolves selections. If push comes to shove, he'll start and get clean sheet bonus.
Right, let's do strikers next because they're a bit more fun.
Yes,
we have more fun.
Does Havertz count as a striker or a midfielder?
I will just check that now. Havertz is classed as a midfield. So for Chelsea, it is Werner or Lukaku.
So no, you're not having any of them.
The only thing I'd say, would Chelsea make changes because it's Norwich?
Yeah,
look, they're not
probably.
They're not catching us, and they're safe as houses. So maybe he would start with Lukaku up front.
He's a flat track bully, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah,
which probably for SPL points is probably quite handy.
If he's going to get any point, it's going to be against Norwich, surely. No offense to Norwich, but
no, it's a good show.
They're not going to be around next year to complain about it.
And then the other strikers we've got Shea Adams, we've got Brozier, we've got Chris Ward, we've got St. Maximin's classed as a striker in this game as well.
I'd nearly go for St. Max, to be honest.
Injured? Or is he
he came back when we played Brighton. He came back second half.
But is he likely to start?
That's the thing. We've got 3 away games in 7 days, so I don't know who he's gonna. Over the next few days, I don't know who he's gonna start and who he's not.
Or do we fancy one? Then there's the Wolves Watford game. Dennis scores for fun. Or was him? You'd like to think Jimenez versus Watford.
I nearly say Wang Hee-chan.
Oh, the Wolves.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So he
Do you
got
want him
subbed off early last game as well.
Do you want him to start or do you want him on the bench? Wanky Chan. Quite a few saying Shea Adams, to be fair, as well.
You could stick Shea Adams in there, I don't.
Yeah, stick Shea
Because
Adams.
midfield wise, if you're going to have like Havertz,
You need your blockers.
James Ward-Prowse.
James Ward-Prowse, and I would put Joe Linton in. As
No, Joe Linton's a forward.
Oh crap! Shit. If he plays in midfield as a forward, he's going to get loads of the same kind of interception points as what Fabinho would get for that kind of position.
Neves in midfield.
If we want James Ward-Prowse, we'll have to get rid of Adams or Salisu because we're only allowed 2. And I'd rather have James Ward-Prowse, to be honest, than Shea Adams.
Yeah, so if you do Southampton, just have Salisu and James Ward-Prowse, and Southampton's out the picture.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about Southampton anymore.
And then Chelsea, we could have.
Well, Chelsea, we've got Rudiger and Lukaku, so that's Chelsea done. Unless we've been off Lukaku. Unless we've been off Lukaku.
I'll be putting Havertz in there.
Yeah.
So
should we bin off Lukaku?
Yeah.
Okay, so Chelsea and Southampton are boxed, and actually Wolves are boxed as well. So striker-wise, so Newcastle, I mean, St. Max is definitely an option.
Yeah. You could have St. Max in there. Off Fraser is the other option.
Oh, yeah, Fraser's the one that's been...
Bonker's in there with Pedro Neto. Wolves.
We've got 2 Wolves players already. We've got Sarr and got Cody.
What about Pookie? If anyone's going to do anything for Norwich, it would be him.
But we're going to have someone from Norwich, aren't we? We're going to have at least one player.
We could put Pookie. We could have Pookie on the bench, couldn't we?
On the bench, yeah.
Yeah.
So
then he's out the way as well.
Yeah, so we just need a starting striker and a backup goalie. So
from who?
So let's see who we've got left. So you can't have Southampton, you can't have Chelsea, and you can't have Wolves. We've already got St. Max from
Dennis up front from Watford.
Yeah.
Because if anyone's going to score from Watford, it's more likely Dennis as well.
Yeah.
There we go. Put him in. Tennis. And then finally, we just need a goalie. So it could be...
He's on the bench.
So it'll have to be Tuchel or Dubravka from Newcastle, but
or Dubravka.
I don't know if...
I'll be honest. It's... oh, no, we can't have Dubravka because we've already got 2 Newcastle players.
Right, so go Tim Krul because it doesn't matter. He's not going to play anyway, so...
That's true. Okay, put them in. There we go. So we got Sarr in goal, Rudiger, Salisu at the back, Ward-Prowse and Havertz, St. Max and Dennis. Who do you want, Kendall, as your captain and vice captain? So captain gets double points and vice captain gets 1.5 points.
Just trying to think who's my... Oh, it's Kevin. Just trying to think who I had as captain in my own, but it's Kevin De Bruyne, I think I had as last time.
He's quite good, yeah.
It's got to be someone who is going to score. So it's got to be... I would have said Havertz, but what's worrying me is that he might not start because it's Norwich. Like he might just play like...
Well, if he doesn't start, then Fraser will come in and Fraser will be...
Right, okay. And then, Fraser's probably going to get a goal, yeah. So, yeah, Havertz, I would have said probably.
Havertz as your captain.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And Kev, who do you want as vice captain? It's defaulted to Ward-Prowse, but we can move it off them. A few are saying Rudiger have seen a shout as a shout.
Yeah. Because
Rudiger.
They'll probably get a clean sheet. And he's likely to get...
Or you could even do vice versa. You could captain Rudiger and vice captain Havertz, the opposite way around.
Okay, do that then. So captain Rudiger, done. And vice captain Havertz, all done.
Days.
There we go. All set. Cool. So then...
All boxed off in 15 minutes.
Look at that.
You, Chris, you are a legend in your own
I know. I think first time we did this, it took about 25, 40 minutes. I think, I can't do it.
Oh, it's a proper rouse over who we were sticking in, didn't we?
We did. And we realised, actually, defensive midfielders are dead good.
Yeah. They pick up points like you wouldn't believe in this game.
Okay, so we won't spend too much time on this because, to be fair, Kev, you and me did a post-match on this, so we'll keep quiet for a little bit. So I'm going to ask Kendall from a neutral's point of view. Did you see the Liverpool game last night? There was a lot of hand-wringing, is it called? You know, lots of worry, lots of concern about the loss. Kev and I were a bit more like, I'd have liked to have won, but if there was a game you're going to lose or draw, that was the one you could get away with. And I always felt Liverpool generally weren't under much threat, but I am a biased Liverpool fan, so that is also in my favour.
Yeah, I was watching last night, and to be honest, I was surprised because just the way you guys played last time, the way that you've kind of sailed through the Champions League in general, I thought actually Inter Milan were quite okay yesterday. They did a little bit more than I expected. I thought bringing Vidal in, he can be very, very, very hit and miss. But at points, it was like vintage Vidal in there, like that. It was just brilliant, like that clearance at the end was just exceptional yesterday.
Even on the replay, he's not in screen until he flies in. It's ridiculous.
It's mad. So yeah, I thought they did offer you guys something to play against yesterday, which it leaves a lot to be said considering the teams that you've played throughout the competition. You've just been on top form all of the time. So yeah, I was just about to say you had some. To be fair, both teams had some decent chances when I watched it yesterday, but I was kind of hit and miss watching it. So yeah, I think you have a great chance again this year. Really, really good chance.
Sorry, because the internet forgets. If we get to our Féileacáin target, Kev's gonna have a mohawk.
Oh, lovely!
I got
a bleached blonde mohawk like Vidal's.
Vidal one, yeah.
Literally got blackmailed into it last night. I'm not going great.
Hang on, Kev. I was on the show with you. It was Kev. Why don't you get a mohawk if we get to the target? Oh yeah, I'll do that.
And I hadn't been drinking.
It didn't take a lot of convincing, did it?
Couldn't even hide behind alcohol last night.
No, you were so.
I said if we get to our 10 grand target, and the link is in the show's description. If we get to our 10 grand target, I'm going to get the mohawk, and I'm going to be holding it for a couple of weeks, and do whatever shows on here with the Vidal mohawk. Absolutely, 100%.
Ah, brilliant!
So I'll be walking around with a beanie at work for those 2 weeks in the middle of the summer. Can't wait. So it's up to you guys. If you really want us to get to that target, you know what to do.
Oh, it's worth it.
It's horrible, people.
That might be worth it, actually.
It'd be worth 10 grand just for that, wouldn't it? Luke, I'm supposed to you about this actually. How did you find it last night?
For what I managed to watch and work, I thought it wasn't a great performance, but it wasn't a bad performance, really. I think if there was one game that you could get away with not playing great, last night was probably the only game for the rest of the season Liverpool are going to get away with playing it. And as long as this is the one-off and it gets out the system and we win against Brighton, then Twitter just overreacted last night, as Twitter tends to do when your team loses. Twitter just blows up thinking that Liverpool lost. Like reading Twitter last night, I thought Liverpool got knocked out. But we're through. I think I saw a thing saying Inzaghi outcoached Klopp. Well, who's Inzaghi got in the next round? No one. So
yeah, it's having dominance in the right areas, but we will see. Anyway, enough of last night, because to be honest, that's been done to death. So let's look at the rest of the last 16. So we've got 4 teams through already. So we've got Liverpool through, City through, Bayern through. To be honest, they all pretty much coasted. Real Madrid are through, which if you haven't seen it, was an absolute barnstormer of a game. Yeah. PSG and throwing it away in the Champions League just goes hand in hand, really, doesn't it? But I'll tell you what, but Benzema, Kev, brilliant again, wasn't he?
He is great. He's your proper number 9. He's as dependable as a stop clock twice a day. He will always deliver. He's always there. He rolled back the years tonight. He was like the Benzema of all. He's so much energy, so much drive and leadership. And that was the difference between the two sides. When you could see PSG were really good on the break. They're fantastic on the break. You saw it for Mbappe's goal. I mean, the defending from Madrid was shocking. What's his name? Militao was just going for a wander, and they lost the ball in a bad area. Brilliant pass from Neymar. Mbappe was already on his bike. Left David Alaba 1v1. And Alaba tried to do. Remember what Virgil did? And he blocked off 3/4 of the goal and left and trusted the keeper trusted Alisson to save a shot. They did exactly the same, and it was. I had flashes of Virgil's penalty in the cup final, where he was almost dared to hit it into that corner, and that's what
goalkeeping.
Mbappe did. Yeah, that's what Mbappe did with Courtois. You know, he gave him that corner to try and hit, and Mbappe twatted it. And it was a great goal. It was 1-0, and it could have been 2 if PSG had held their run in the second half.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. I mean, as good as Mbappe was, and he's very good, for a striker of that talent, it was quite lazy not getting back into position because,
yeah.
So what do you think, Kendall? I think if they got that to 2-0, I think that kills the game.
Oh,
that seems to reinvigorate Real Madrid going, right, that's your warning. That's it. We can't mess about now.
And to be fair, if that had happened, as you were saying, it was 2-0, then Real Madrid just wouldn't have had a chance. Yeah. But they kind of came away with a lifeline there, and they thought, okay, we'll just take the game by its horns now, and that's what they did, and they've ended up with the rewards from it. So yeah, just a little bit of just incompetence really in that respect.
I think Donnarumma helped massively with a gift.
He turns to Carries, doesn't he? Which was very kind of him.
The thing is, you could just tell with PSG that for all of the star quality that they've brought, and they have brought star quality, there's no doubt about it. There isn't a single vocal leader in that side. And that's one thing Messi never was. He wasn't a vocal leader on the pitch at Barcelona, and he's not a vocal leader now. In the middle of the park,
it's almost like they need that centre back from Chelsea. I forget his name. He's really good. Quite old though, but he was quite good at PSG as well.
Yeah, he was. You know, I mean, the thing is, Verratti is one of the few players in world football that can talk to Thiago. Between him and Luka Modric, and could you imagine doing a rondo with those three? You just quit, wouldn't you? You just quit football and just give up and never play again. But in the middle of that park, he was so quiet. You know, on the ball, absolute top tier. But there was no leadership. And the difference when Madrid got going, and you had Kroos, Modric, the old heads, the experienced heads.
Yeah.
And once they got a sniff, Vinicius Jr. should have had 2 on the night, at least.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that should have been a lot more comfortable than what it was. Madrid deserved it on the second half of the tie, really. You know, they were, to me, what Inter Milan weren't last night. Inter were 2-0 down going into a game that they had to win. And they persisted with a back 5 even when they were down to 10 men. I thought, there's no get up and go about you. You're good side, but you don't have a killer instinct. Madrid went for it. They'd rather lose 3 trying to get back in. And that's the difference. That's what makes them a dangerous side in knockout football.
It does. But next week,
more sides to come.
Yeah, next week we've got Ajax, Benfica, Man United, Madrid, Juventus, Villarreal, and Lille versus Chelsea. So, Kendall, obviously, people that don't know, you're not only a Newcastle fan, you're a big Athletic Madrid fan. So let's go with that one because we hate United as well. So we could all have a big chat about this, and hopefully you're going to do us a favour. Look, Luke sat forward; he's already excited about that. So, how are you feeling about the away leg? Because from what I saw the first leg, and it's a bit disappointing it was 1-1, really, because I thought you dominated Man United very, very well, and probably a bit of sloppiness near the end cost you the equaliser. Now there's no away goal, so it's not as costly as it probably would have been last year. But I was sort of feeling Madrid side about Man United and how the tie's balanced.
Yeah, that first tie was just so frustrating because I knew if we scored early on, I said, I was doing a watch along and I said, I know for a final fact this second half we're going to sit off. And I just knew, and I said, I'm concerned if we do that Man United are going to have that little bit of jammy luck, you know, like they always have. They always have that little fluky jammy thing where they just one goal will go in and then they either draw or they win a game. They always have been like that, especially the last few years when they haven't necessarily relied on how good they are as a team. And I just knew, and obviously when Elanga's goal went in, I just said that's exactly what was going to happen. I could see it straight off. And unfortunately, since then, we've now lost Lamar, who has got a serious injury. Not even sure how long he's going to be out. And Vasalko as well, right back, we've lost him as well, another muscle injury. So we're going into that tie, now the second tie, weaker. I don't know in terms of Man United what their injuries are or anything, but they don't even look good in the league now. So I would be thinking if it was us, just go out all guns blazing because we've got nothing to lose at this point. The league's not going well. So this is like the last thing we need to do. And I think if Atleti don't get through this next round, I think Simeone's gone in the summer. because there's nothing else for him to do now at this point. Like the last time we lost the Champions League final to Real Madrid in 2016, he was ready to leave then because he said, I just don't know where I can take this club. Like, he doesn't believe that he can win Champions League. Obviously, he's ended up staying for another 6 years, but I think if this tie, obviously if Man United win this tie, everyone's going to be gutted, apart from Man United fans. Everyone's going to be like, and yeah, I think Simeone will be off in the summer, but I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. Luckily, João Felix and stuff is on form at the moment, so there is that, a little bit of saving grace, but I don't know.
If he was to leave, where would you expect? Who would you expect to come in to replace him? Is it a sort of rumours of who the club are looking at, or is it still?
Yeah, there's been a couple of things. So Valverde's been mentioned, and Luis Enrique are the two main people at this time.
Do you have a preference?
I would like Luis Enrique. Whether or not he would come is a different story, because he's kind of got like a cushy number really at the moment with Spain. I think if you're an international manager, you're going to step down at club level, I think it's a big decision to make, because it's a much less pressurized job being a national team manager than it is at club level. But I think Luis Enrique is still young. He's still got so much. If he wants to come back to a club level, he's still got mountains of a career ahead of him. So yeah, but obviously there is the Barcelona connection there. So whether or not he'll come is a different story. But yeah, I would like Luis Enrique.
Okay.
Where do you think Simeone goes at the end of the season if he does?
Italy. It'll be Italy, I believe. I'm just hoping it's not Man United, because I'll die. I will literally just have to just
say to Eddie Howe at the end of the season. Thank you very much for keeping us up, Diego.
Maybe you never know. I've always said, like I think I've been on a show with Kev before, and I was getting asked about like who I would want as a manager and stuff, and I said Diego Simeone. Like, that is my ideal manager, because I just think him and the Newcastle fans would be like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, they would.
But Klopp and Liverpool fans just
intolerable.
Together.
It would be just shit house you at the next level if it was us and Simeone. But yeah, I doubt it's going to happen.
I hope he doesn't end up in the Premier League for a variety of reasons, because I think he's so good.
Yeah, I agree.
He's just one of those managers that gets a team to buy into him, and if they buy in, they'll buy in hook, line, and sinker, and he can be an absolute nightmare. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if PSG come knocking for him, because there's not many. Yeah, he'd like more options that they could go for, really.
Yeah, I mean, big good payday for it. It's whether he could be asked with the bollocks that's around PSG.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
The only good thing is about that, if it was, he would either get sick and be like, I'm not dealing with this, or he would literally absolutely transform them, because he wouldn't take none of the crap that they now offer. So it would go one of two ways. But I think it's probably Zidane that's going to end up at PSG. And I think I don't know. I think it'll be depending on what happens in Serie A this year, because I'm not entirely sure what's going on there at the moment. But yeah, I think it'll be. I don't know
where Simeone would go in Italy, because all the top jobs seem pretty cushy. Maybe.
So obviously he used to play for Lazio, didn't he? So.
And
but
Milan. I don't know. It'll be somewhere where the fans just. Taking him, and Italy are the best at doing that. So,
but we've seen in the past, Luke, managers that look comfortable, but then the next level manager becomes available. To basically how quickly.
It wouldn't surprise me if he ended up at Juve, because Allegri's going back there has not really worked out for him this season. So maybe he could end up at Juve.
Yeah, Kendall Garmack's asking which athletic player would be great for Liverpool. I mean, I'm not sure she's really going to scout them all for us to sign him over. I'll be honest. But
I'll give you a name straight away.
Who you after, Kev?
Marcus Llorente.
Marcus Llorente was him and Trippier were my favourites last season.
He's the most versatile midfield stroke defender that I've seen in Spanish football. Him and Valverde are two quality players. Personally, I'd prefer Barella, but Marcus Llorente is quality. I mean, look, João Felix is just out there price-wise. He's, for what Atletico paid for him, they took a huge gamble. But I think he's going to be set there for a good while. I think if you're going to try to get anyone out of there, it would be Marcus Llorente for me.
Yeah, he's also, but João Felix, he's very young as well, though. So
yeah, he's still learning his game.
It'll probably do him good to have 3-4 years there learning his trade, either under Simeone or whoever the next manager is going to be.
This is the first season as well that he's had like a consistent run in the team, because the last 2 years he's had a severe injury that only got rehabilitated in the summer. And he only had surgery in the summer. He was playing on a broken foot for 6 months. So it's like this is the first time now that he's actually getting a consistent run, and he's scoring pretty much every game, or at least assisting every game. So it just shows you that tiny little, you just needed that consistency behind him.
It helps having Griezmann there as well, because him and Griezmann have a good link up.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, that's one for him to learn off. Griezmann's been there, done it, won pretty much everything. It's again
same with
for him to
Suarez
learn off.
probably as well.
Yeah.
It's a good learning tree for him to be a striker.
Look, from a Liverpool point of view, I prefer United to go through.
Yeah,
because you think they're a softer touch.
Because they're the softer touch by a country mile. Juventus in Atletico Madrid in group games. You're not getting this. You're getting a different Atletico Madrid in knockout football.
Yeah. We've seen the only time we haven't made a quarterfinal on the Klopp was Madrid.
They're a much more difficult outfit when it comes to knockout football.
Yeah. So Luke from Man United's point of view, they are, because I'll give you the one that you love. Miraculously, all their players are now fit. Ronaldo's hit flex apparently is all fine now. Cavani's now said he is now fit to play.
It'd be so funny if he's on the bench, though. It'd be so funny if he's on the bench. Comes back from the derby. He's injured, but it'd be so funny if he ends up on the bench. No, I think Atletico go through. I just watching that first game, United just seemed to be all over the place, all over the shop. I don't know whether or not the players actually believe anything Ralph is saying, or whether or not they're pretending they're listening, going one in one ear, out the other, because he knows that they all know that you're not going to be there. So why should I run the extra miles for you when probably most of them are thinking about leaving in the summer anyway? So,
I honestly think in the first leg, Atletico Madrid thought they were getting the Man United of old, and they paid them too much respect. And now they know what they're all about.
Yeah,
they hold no fear. This version of Manchester United hold no fear for Atletico Madrid. I watched them against Betis at the weekend, and I thought Betis are no better than what Manchester United are, and Atletico handled them fairly easily.
Yeah, and Betis are above us in the league as well. So
exactly.
Okay. Score predictions then, Luke. What are you going for?
1-0 Atletico.
Kev?
I think it's 3-1.
I'm going to go 2-1 Atletico after extra time.
2-1 was my prediction as well, Atleti. So
I just fancied a prime Simeone 1-0. Gets to do as though the celebration to the fans. Great.
Yeah.
The other guys are tasty, mind. The other ones are really tasty.
Juventus Villarreal. So Villarreal just lost Albion Moreno to another ACL. It's his second one, isn't it? Second one in 12 months, which is a shame for him. 1-1. But it's at home. You would fancy Juventus at home to go through, but this isn't Juventus of old. But they've got a striker.
Vlahovic. Vlahovic has made a difference.
Yeah,
he's made a difference.
This got to feel of the buying game from the other night. I just think Juventus go up a level, get the job done, get it done.
Yeah. Villarreal are no mugs in Europe. They got to the Europa League final last year. Yeah, they're a good side, but yeah, Juve should have too much for. I think probably 2-0. I think 2-0. I'd be comfortable enough saying 2-0.
Be good. And then little Chelsea just walked out. I would assume. Yeah, Chelsea won 2-0 in second gear. They weren't even tested that much, really. Yeah. And then the most finally balanced one is Ajax and Benfica, 2-2 at the moment. Do you fancy in that?
Toss of a coin.
They're playing in Amsterdam. I'd fancy Ajax. If
we're all being honest, is that the winner of that tie is probably who everyone wants, isn't it? If we're all being honest, because all the others you're going, whether you Liverpool or Atleti head on, you look at all the others going, all the others are a tough game or a game where you're going over 2 legs. That's going to be tight. That's going to be hard. Yeah, that feels like the one. If it was me, because I know we have City in the middle of either side of the quarterfinals, I'd rather face an Ajax and a Benfica than I would like to be facing Chelsea or City or Bayern when I've got City in the middle of it, because that's a hell of. I mean, listen, it'd be a great 3 days of stress and anxiety. But
Oh God,
being realistic, you probably want
Ajax are a
the
good
path of
side,
least
man.
resistance. They are a
Ajax
good side.
The likes of Anthony and Haller. Haller's transformed himself since going from West Ham. He's flying this season. They have some good young players again, and Ten Hag is one of those coaches that whoever they play, you're going to run, and you're going to have to really put a shift in for the 2 games. So there's no rest in that game. I think they'll go through, but I wouldn't be as keen as.
Well, who would you want? Who would you want then, Kev? Based on who could go through, who would you think would be
Juventus?
Juventus would be the ideal one. Okay,
Juventus for me. I think Chelsea are the ones I want to avoid.
Yep.
Purely and simply because they're just.
We've played 3 times. We can't beat them. So you know.
But yeah, look.
I mean,
if you're saying any of them, Ajax and Juventus would be the 2 that you'd say, look, they'd be your preferred, but definitely Chelsea and Chelsea would be the one I'd want to avoid completely. Real Madrid would be interesting. Real Madrid would be interesting.
There's a few stories on each one because Ajax we got them last year in the Champions League, but fans never got to go to. They've got to go to
Plus
Ajax
it was in the group as well.
Experience it in the group stage because it was no fans. Real Madrid gave us a bit of a lesson. Let's be honest. But we had no defense either, and we didn't start Thiago. So there's a couple of these games there's a bit of a story or reason behind one. Kendall, from your point of view, who would Atleti prefer? Who would be good for Atleti? Who would be a nightmare for Atleti?
Everyone would be a nightmare. Everyone would be a nightmare at this point. I'm not even joking. It actually genuinely would. Probably Juve. That's the only team I can possibly think of that I would be like. Obviously, we don't want a Madrid derby because that never ends well in the Champions League. So you couldn't even play them anyway. So it would probably be Juve for me because I think Ajax. Ten Hag is very tactically astute. I think he sets up his teams brilliantly. So I personally would not like to play Ajax, just because I think tactically, I think Ten Hag will probably break down Simeone quite easily. Probably Juve, I would say.
Cool. Okay, Luke, any different for you from a Liverpool point of view?
Well, who don't I want?
Do or don't? You can give me both.
Probably don't want Chelsea. Probably the top. The top one. I was talking in the group chat with a few friends of mine, and they were talking waxing lyrical about Bayern, and I was like, I fancy beating Bayern over 2 legs as well. So I wouldn't mind anyone apart from Chelsea.
Yeah, I prefer playing sides who'll come at you and attack you.
Yeah,
because
I'd love to play
dangerous
City
as sides can be, I trust our defense. To withstand pretty much more stuff, but sides that sit in and try to hit you on the counter are the ones that they'll test your patience as well as your skill. And Chelsea are very, very good. Atleti are good at it, but I think Chelsea are just very, very good at playing sides on the break.
If United went through, then I wouldn't mind United. If United went through. But I wouldn't mind having City either, because could you imagine Pep thinking about Liverpool's front 3 for 3 games in a row? He'd lose his
What if you drew us in the FA Cup as well? That'd be 4.
It'd be like, come on, you live.
I'm already grey. I don't want to go grey. Don't be adding to me grey. Don't be adding to me grey.
I won't even have to buy a dive for this.
That's true. That's true. Kev will go, Kev, you done the mohawk early? No, it's all pulled out. It's all done.
It's just come through. It's April. Business into the season. You gotta love it.
Good. Right, so let's move on to this week. Then we'll do a bit of a quick preview as well. Kev and Luke will do a bit of a bigger preview on Friday. But big 2 games coming now. We've got Brighton away and Arsenal away in the space. So we've got Saturday, Wednesday. How are you seeing these? So Brighton, we haven't actually won in our last 3 games against Brighton. Before that, we had quite a good record, but we've actually drawn 2 and lost 1 against Brighton at the moment. They've got a bit of a
Graham Potter factor.
Bit of a hoodoo over us, really. The away game last year probably shouldn't have lost, but we shouldn't have drawn. The home game, we were diabolical. Couldn't hit a barn door. And the home game this year blew us 2-0 lead.
Too complacent and probably deserved to.
Brighton are very hot and cold. When they're on
Yes.
they're really, really good. But you can get at them. I think losing
Burn to
Dan
Newcastle.
Burn to Newcastle hasn't helped because Duffy has to play. And he doesn't have... He's brilliant in the air. You know, he's an absolute nightmare for set pieces, but he doesn't have the pace. And he leaves that back three exposed. I think Webster's out injured as well.
So
You
you
know,
look
but-
at a back three of Veltman, Duffy, Dunk.
Yeah,
Not
so
exactly
that
no
can be
one.
got at. You know, I'd fancy winning away at Brighton. Arsenal are, you know, before we come on tonight, I looked at the form table. I know what the table looks like, but I looked at the form table for the last 6 games, right? Now, we're top. Newcastle are second. City are third. Arsenal are fourth in the form table for the last 6 games. Right? And the bottom 4 sides are Watford, Norwich, Everton, and Leeds in the league.
Jeez.
You know, but Brighton are stuck in
16th,
no
I
man's
think,
land. Yeah, and the problem is you got a side like Brighton who are in that part of the season now where, look, they're not going to go down.
And not
They're
getting you.
not going to get into Europe. You've got players who are looking for moves and playing. Some of them are playing for moves. Some of them are playing not to get hurt, which is
This is where we have the Basuma masterclass that we see every time we play against him.
quite possibly.
He's a flipping.
Quite
He didn't
possibly.
play against us, to be fair.
No, he didn't. He was on the bench, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, he was on the bench. So
I bet he won't be. I bet he won't be against us. So
No.
I hope he is. I'll be made up if he's on the bench.
It's
Yeah,
like
I
Kante for Chelsea. It's just he seems to be out injured, but a second Liverpool's around the corner, he's out of the cryo chamber. And
He's just
he's
very
in the
good.
field.
He's very, very good. I mean, I don't see Basuma staying at Brighton beyond this season.
Depends on what is off the pitch issues.
To be honest, I don't
Yeah.
think that. I think for quite a lot of clubs these days, I don't think that would be a factor. You know, football is not known for its morality. So
No.
That's very
if
true.
if they can get the player, they'll get the player, and they'll deal with that as and when it happens.
yeah, look, I fancy us against Brighton. Arsenal have stumbled across a way of playing over the last since probably we played them in the League Cup. They're in a decent run of form, but still, it's Arsenal.
Yeah,
Away,
and-
you'd still fancy us, but at the same time, we're playing an awful lot of games.
Yeah.
The volume of games by the time we play Arsenal, depending on the rotation Klopp uses at the weekend, you know, could factor into it. But I'd fancy our chances. Look, every show you look at it, we have to win. You know, if we're to maintain any kind of pressure on City, have to win. Simple as that.
And plus, we play first between us and City. City playing Monday night against Palace away.
Yeah. I mean, I always think for Liverpool, I think we saw this the year we finished second under Klopp is he's learned since then that every game's a must win, and I think he goes into a lot of games like that. Whereas I think the year we finished second, there were times where you're going, "Oh, a draw's all right in the derby. A draw's okay in
Old Trafford."
And then we got to the point of going, shit, they've all caught up with us now.
Too many
so,
draws.
in some ways, the lack of wiggle room probably suits us better. I do actually think that's probably what's helped Newcastle with the signings they've made. We're going to go into the relegation battle because Newcastle are the second most informed side. But I think with Newcastle, they got to a point where you're going, you haven't got any wiggle room now. It is shit or buffs now. Let's go. You know, what you're going to do. And with the signings again, you know, Trippier especially, Newcastle have kicked on, and I think is it 4 in a row now? They're on.
Yeah.
A winning run. So
Still unbeaten in 2022.
Yeah.
It's our longest unbeaten run since 2011.
That's what I mean.
Wow.
And whereas now, I'll be honest, I know we said the relegation battle because we had Kendall on the show probably just after the transfer window shut.
Yeah.
You don't when we talk about the relegation battle now, we're talking Burnley, Everton, Leeds.
Yeah.
It's what one of them 3 are going down. Watford to me and Norwich are gone. I don't see them getting out of it. For me, Newcastle now is just how high can they finish. I don't actually consider Newcastle as part of this relegation battle, which is credit to Eddie Howe. Look, people know I'm not always most complimentary about Eddie Howe, but proof's in the pudding.
I'm eating some humble play over
He's got him playing well.
Yeah.
He's got him playing good football as well. They're a good side to watch.
They are.
You know, I mean,
and they've done this without.
I'm disappointed.
They've done this without St. Max, really, haven't they? Because St. Max has missed quite a bit recently. So again, that's another positive. Exactly. So there's 2 big. They were the 2 big strings. To the bow.
Only 2 of our signings have really been playing because Trippier's been out for 4 games now. Obviously, Bruno's been sitting on the bench. Chris Wood hasn't really he's influenced games, but not with scoring goals because that's coming from other areas of the pitch now. Obviously, Matt Targett couldn't play against Aston Villa, so really, Dan Burn has been like the most under the radar signing that I could have ever possibly expected. But honestly, my God, like what a difference he's made just alone. It's honestly just insane. He's absolutely fantastic. What a defender he is.
Yeah, it's amazing signing one of your own, and he is. He's a proper fan. He will give you that extra 5-10%. He'll give you that voice as well, and the experience.
I still find it mad he was playing left back though. He was the biggest left back I've ever seen in my life.
I'm laughing because they always keep putting him and Fraser together, like in pictures and stuff, because we've got the tallest and the shortest player in the Premier League, so they keep doing it. And now because we haven't lost, they're like, oh God, I think it's like a suspicious thing. So now they keep doing it. So they keep going. I was laughing because Dan Burn did an interview and he said the next thing I'm going to come out holding his hand like he's a mascot. I was like, oh, that'll be classic.
Please do that.
To carry him on the pitch like he's upset.
Oh please,
Yeah.
he's got to do that.
I'll be honest, right? I was disappointed not to see Bruno Guimaraes playing. I want to see what he's like, because if we are looking at signing players from the French league, Ndombele is not the one, and Pepe is not the one you want to be hanging your hat and saying these signings came from the French league on big money and they work. They didn't. They were absolute disasters. And I wanted to see this kid because I hope that Liverpool are looking at Chouameni. And you can use Bruno as a yardstick because they're both highly thought of coming from France. And if he can hit the ground running for Newcastle, and it bodes well maybe for signing Chouameni for us in the summer. You never know.
I hope if we stay, like I'm still saying if we stay safe, because I'm like so worried that we just do a Newcastle and just do stupid things. But that will be, oh my God, last game of the season, it's against Burnley as well. Oh my God, that would be so funny.
Yeah. So let's talk about the other bottom three. So Leeds, they did well with Jesse March. I know they lost, but they play better, a bit more controlled, still attacking wise. I think Leeds will be there just about okay. I think it's between Burnley and Everton. I do think that's the straight shootout between the two.
It's Everton.
I think Brentford have just got out of it with that Norwich win. I think that's probably enough for Brentford to stick themselves. So I think it's between them two.
The publicity around Everton's not good either. So like when things just happen where like, oh yeah, they're just destined to go down. Yeah. Do you know, I'm sorry. I'm not even being horrible. I really don't like Everton. They have this this affinity with Sunderland. Like they're like, we call them, literally Newcastle fans call them the Scouse Mackhams, because like that's literally what they are. Like they love Sunderland and they always like hate us, and I don't even know why. So when Rafa went there, we were like, oh no, I can't believe this. Like that's horrible. Luckily, Rafa's secret agent got them sent in the relegation, so I was like, great, love Rafa. I like to think in my head he's done it on purpose. But yeah, they look tragic. Like seriously, they look very bad.
Cemented his Liverpool legacy even more if Everton go down. Like,
they'll blame him, though. They'll blame him if they go down. It'll be Rafa's fault.
That's the other thing is how well PR'd Lampard is, because none of this is his fault. He's not blaming anything. And you're going like, you're still going, yeah, but you brought in Dele Alli. Hasn't really worked yet.
Donny, Van de Beek.
Donovan done okay.
Nate,
the two youngsters that Rafa bought for fullback. Now, admittedly, one of them is a young Ukrainian left back. I get why he's not playing. But it was Patterson from Rangers. Hardly thought of. Young right back, pretty decent. Why are you not giving him the game against?
He subbed him off against Boreham Wood and just left him out against Spurs, which is probably good for him because Everton got absolutely.
And the likes of Coleman's getting a game week like all the time, and I just think I watched him the other night and I was like.
Seamus Coleman is without doubt.
Seamus Coleman's is like Baines. Time's just caught up with him.
Father Time is always going to win out in the end, but he was a quality fullback, very good fullback.
That leg break,
but which one?
The one was it Neil Taylor that broke his leg?
Yeah, he's done two.
He's done two.
He's broken leg twice, and the thing is,
I think he's Ireland, didn't he?
Yeah, he's.
Oh yeah, that was the one.
Yeah. he's needed to be phased out of that club for a few years. But Chris, I was going to ask you, the stuff that's in the media, when we finished last night, I texted you the Daily Mail story about about what was breaking with Everton. I mean,
I wasn't impressed with sending me the Daily Mail, I've got to be honest.
I know, but they were the ones who broke it, so I thought I'd show you. What do you make of it?
It's a worry for Everton if it's true, in a sense that they saved 260 million in debt over the last 3 years. That's what they've posted, but they've still fallen under FFP because a lot of that debt can be under Premier League with add-ons. They can add them back in and go, well, that's for the stadium. That's the agreed COVID impact, so it keeps them under the 105 million, which I think is the break-even point. The talk is Everton will announce another loss of 100 million. Now, it's who you believe now, because Simon Jordan, TalkSport, I saw that. I mean, he's an ex-chairman, so you think he would know the ins and outs of football a bit more. He seems to think it's dead certain that they're going to get in some sort of trouble for it. Reports in the Echo, Everton are quite relaxed about it. Now, look, that could be local press spin, but it's just another distraction Everton don't really need. They've just lost. They're suspended. I don't know why they're suspended, but they're suspended the sponsor who's linked with Usmanov. Yeah. I mean, I don't get why they're suspended him, because I don't think what is going to happen in 2 years' time. We're all going to forget and go, Russia's all right now. Bring it back. I mean, it was a bit of a weird phraseology. I thought most of the people are getting rid of the sponsors. They're not suspending them.
Yeah.
So that was one. But I mean, for Everton, if it does get forward, they get sanctioned.
Sanctions could be worse. I mean, the points deduction, they go down.
But
they take their penance.
If they get a points deduction, it's when they get it, because they could get found guilty. You can appeal it, and as to be fair, sounds as well, you can kick it down the road, and the points deduction may not kick until next year.
Yeah.
Well, if they're relegated next year, it's a Premier League thing they've been found in breach of, not an EFL breach. So I don't actually know what you can do with them then. But if they are found guilty and say Burnley go down, Burnley could appeal, going, why we got relegated, but we stuck to the rules. They didn't. And they end up with
there's a minefield here that the Premier League have never had to address, because no club has spent this recklessly.
No one's been done
this
for it
badly.
No one's been done for it in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But you could end up with a situation where, I think at the EFL at the start of the season, they had 3 fixture lists. One with Derby in the league, one without Derby in the league, which then meant, I think it was Reading would be in it, and there was a situation with Wickham, because Wickham didn't actually know what league they're going to be in, because they didn't know if Derby were going up, going down. It's not.
It's one to keep an eye on for sure. I mean, the thing is, if they get sanctioned and don't get the points deduction, then they're going to have to be working. They're going to be working under restricted spending for however long,
which they've been on. Which is the problem they had on the Rafa, which is they only spent 1.8 million, which was on Damari Gray, ironically the best player this season. But they couldn't buy anyone else because they couldn't afford to. Now, I know they bought 4 in January, but
they were offset.
They were also
40 million for Dele Alli. Who is thinking that? I know it's like not an outright 40 million.
Europe. If he played like 20 games, then they'd have to pay a certain amount of money. But Dele Alli can't play 20 games this season.
I think to get to 40 million, he's almost got to win the Ballon d'Or. I think it's so highly.
Everton would have.
But I know what you mean. It's a big
feat.
I mean?
Like, their spending is silly. Like I look at like the past few years and I just think like,
there's no plan.
How has that been allowed? Like, I genuinely, that's just
they won the transfer window every year. They got a trophy and everything.
Stick that in your cabinet in League One.
I was fine with the Van der Beek signing because I thought it's on loan, so it's low risk. If it doesn't work, you can just send him back.
Yeah.
And he needs games. And the one thing, the big area Everton are weak is midfield, because Doucouré is really good, but he's picked up a lot of it. He's picked up quite a bit of injuries. Alan, I think he moved to the Premier League at the wrong time. I think he probably should have moved to the Premier League a couple of years earlier, because I do think the pace is getting to him. Right. Gomez doesn't do it for me. Fabian Delph, not for me. And the fullback, they've got just really old fullbacks.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, do you think they go? I mean, the thing is, Burnley, for all of their hums and has, I think Weghorst has been a good signing, and
Cornet's been a good signing.
All it takes, as we've seen with Brentford, a win.
Well, one result can change a lot.
One result.
This is probably the first time I can honestly hand on heart saying where I'm looking at Everton going, you know what? They might actually go, because I was saying 6-7 weeks back.
Down, but
It would
Not
be a
too good to
massive shock if they went. Absolutely
Sorry.
massive
I don't
shock.
think so.
Too good to go down is probably the right phrase. I felt there were worse sides below them. And I was going like, well, I can't see if they're winning many games, but I can't see the teams below them getting a run going. I mean, look, Kendall, I'll be honest, I didn't see Newcastle winning 4 in a row.
No.
But they have. And that's when you've gone like, actually now you're looking going, well, that's Newcastle at the equation. You're sort of going, Leeds don't look like they could do much. And then Burnley clicks in this game, they've got like 700 games in hand. So at some point,
Burnley always kick on the second half of the season as well, and that's why when everyone had them down, I kept saying you really need to like actually watch, because every time they are in that position, every year they have a good second half of the season, and it's just so they've signed a striker who is actually working for them. So I think Burnley will be okay. Me, honestly, I do.
Yeah, I look at Watford as well. I mean, the thing is with Watford, they're not far away points wise, and you look at Everton. The run of fixtures that Everton have is horrific.
It is. The only thing with Watford is, I think they're a bit like Everton. I can't see where they get a win from. They've got goals in them, but they're a car crash at the back. I mean,
Everton have some tough fixtures coming up as well, I think, don't they?
Like us at Anfield and got to go to United.
Oh yeah, I mean Everton's last 5. It's
they got
horrendous.
you.
I think it's.
Goodison as
I think Everton's last 5 is like Liverpool, United. I think Tottenham's in there.
No.
I think they've got quite a few. I think got relegation, but so they've got horrible. I think the next 3 games is the big ones for them. They've got Wolves. I think they've got Watford as well, and I think they've got Newcastle.
Yeah,
that's their next 3. They've got to be looking for 2 wins out of those 3. I would say if they get 2 wins out of those 3, I think they'll be okay. I think if they come out with anything less than those 3, I think the alarm bells will start ringing. So, and
do you
all
think
thought
Frank Lampard jumped ship before the end of the season?
No, he'll just go. No, he'll get his payout. No, it's very rare anyone jump. It's very rare any man jump ships because they all know they'll get paid.
So I was just thinking to save his reputation so he can get another undeserved Premier League job next season. His
reputation's already saved. He's on that manager merry-go-round, and they'll just blame Rafa. It's all Rafa's fault. So, and that narrative's been out there for a while. And Blues I speak to, that's the default answer. Rafa, this is all down to Rafa. I'm going. It is to a point. But you've also got to look a few months, man. You've also got to look at, that squad is now
1.8 million to compete in the Premier League at this stage of the Premier League. It's just you can't. That's what League One sides spend that.
Yeah, but that squad is made.
Do these days? That's a scary thing.
But if you look at that squad that's made up now, that's an amalgamation of probably about 6 managers, 6 different 6 different ideologies as well.
Hey, well, if Everton go down, then Pickford's no longer England's number 1, so happy days. So
I think so. If you look at their squad, I think if you looked at their squad, who would go? Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, Pickford, those 3 would all go. Somebody would pick them up. Pickford would get a Premier League team again. Ben Godfrey, possibly. Yerry Mina will probably get a Premier League club.
Nathan Patterson, because I think Patterson would stay on him, so he'll be.
No, but Patterson could be what they need, which is there's your Coleman replacement. It's a youngster. That's probably what they want to blood through. I don't see you buy Michael Keane.
No,
he's just
Decore would be off.
Decore would also be off. That's the thing, though. When you reel the names off, the good players
would be off.
It's just not gelling. That's all.
Yeah, but they were all bought for big money, and they were all on decent wages.
I mean, was it 40 million?
Like 100 grand some of them were on. Imagine paying that in the Championship.
Yeah.
Remember when they were top after 5 games and they won the league?
I
know, but we all do. Let's be honest. All fans, we're all guilty of that. We've got giddy quite recently and got brought down with a bump. So
yeah, we got exactly, and that might not be the worst thing in the world for some of the players that were.
And Dicko was saying and Dicko believes Calvert-Lewin has got Newcastle number 9 written all over him.
No, I think it'll be off to Arsenal.
I doubt.
Arsenal, I think.
Yeah, I see him going. I think
he'll get a Premier League move. The big question with Calvert-Lewin now is, can he stay fit? Because he's picked. Is it 3?
I personally, I'm not even being beggars can't be choosers, but I just personally wouldn't have him.
I got a friend who's got an Everton friend.
We've already got Callum Wilson who can't stay fit. So what's the point in having DCL who can't stay fit either?
His head's been turned. His head's been turned.
I can see Calvert-Lewin go to Spurs as the Féileacáin backup.
I don't think Spurs can afford him.
Possibly. Well, they probably could afford, but they might be able to afford him if he's relegated. That's That's a big problem for Everton is there's no relegation clause in nearly all the players' contracts.
Exactly. And I think
now, to be fair, I saw a lot
kicking off
over that. But let's be honest, Everton have never been relegated from the Premier League.
Yeah,
I don't think many would, and no one backed them to be anywhere close to a relegation battle this year. So
you wouldn't even think to put a relegation clause in the contract.
It'd be like if Liverpool got close, like when Liverpool nearly skirted relegation under Roy Hodgson. None of the players got relegation clauses. Well, why would they? It's like it'd be like Norwich saying none of our players got Champions League clauses. I bet they haven't. Why would you put them in?
I mean, the thing is, the Calvert-Lewin one, I'm nearly nailed on certain you'd have a hunt of 5 or 6 clubs will be after it. The likes of
I
Villa.
think so.
I think Newcastle will be interested. I would be surprised if they're not interested.
Might not be first
Arsenal
choice.
would definitely be interested.
West Ham.
You could definitely create an auction for someone like him.
Richarlison,
I think,
is PSG written all over him.
Well, he'll go abroad. I don't think PSG will go for him, but
I think
he'll go abroad. Someone in Spain. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he ended up somewhere like Seville.
Or Atletico. Could you imagine?
No. I think somewhere like Seville where he'd play and he'd do okay there. And he'd stay in and around the Brazil setup with a move like to Seville. If he goes to an Atletico or he goes to a PSG, he just falls down the ladder and he drops out of the Brazil squad. Nailed on that. That'd be almost, I'm certain. Someone like Seville, someone maybe in Germany, but I can't see any German club paying big money for someone like him. Whereas Seville do have a bit of money.
Yeah. So it's one of those things to keep an eye on.
If they go down, they're not coming back up for.
I think if they go down, they could do a Sunderland.
We've both said that we think they might do a Sunderland because I think
Amazon series and everything.
Especially if they sanctions and that go into place now, then they're really struggling.
Have you seen that Sunderland to you, Di?
Oh yes, I have.
I watched 2 episodes into it, and at first I thought it was one of those like Ricky Gervais mockumentaries because some of the stuff do go on going, this is a professional football club. It doesn't happen because when you see people on Twitter going, oh, they just make it up. They just throw money at you. No, it's a professional. It's professional sport. We don't do stuff like that. You go, this is like some bloke in a pub going, I'll go for him. It's not working.
Like literally, have you seen that clip where he's like they're talking about the walkout music and their old owners like starts playing like random EDM music. He's like, oh, this will get everyone rocking. I just think that's like a meme. Like honestly, it's like a parody at some point. And the best thing, like Burton Albion thing, was
is there another season for that coming out? Because I really enjoyed watching Sunderland till I die.
I enjoyed watching it.
If they don't get promoted or if they lose the playoff final, that's gonna be a great watch at the end of the season.
The Tottenham one was. The Tottenham was okay, all or nothing, but there was a lot cut out. I don't think it was as good as
I watched the City one. That was quite good, but I can't wait to watch the Arsenal one.
Oh yeah, because we'll be on that, won't we? We'll obviously we'll talk about the League Cup semi-final. I'm sure that'll be brought up.
Oh yeah, like, look, the COVID tests. Liverpool.
I forgot Arsenal doing theirs. Actually, that's funny. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Listen, the one that's coming up, I think this weekend is Drive to Survive. The new one is coming up on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's either this weekend or next. That's going to be absolutely cracking watching. Yeah. Just to see what the behind the scenes stuff was like with Hamilton and Massey. And
be interesting how much of that is edited.
I'd say I'd be amazed if F1 didn't have editorial control somewhere, shape or form.
Because that's the one people always talk about being Liverpool thing that we did.
Yeah,
that's the biggest mistake Liverpool ever made because Liverpool had no editorial control over it. Why you'd sign up someone with no editor? That's the reason. One of the big reasons Brendan Rodgers is such a meme. That show made him the biggest meme going. But look, he signed up to it. But yeah, Liverpool were one of the first to do it, but they did it without editorial control. Whereas now, all these all or nothings, the clubs can say, cut that out, don't show that, don't put that bit in there.
That being in Liverpool was cringe.
The bit that sticks in my head is the bit where he was telling Sterling off.
Oh yeah, it's very schoolmaster, wasn't it? It was funny.
Yeah, it was stupid.
I bet he's still doing the same thing at Leicester. I bet he's doing the same thing at Leicester.
Just think that, but I always think when I watch that, I'm thinking, just when you think Liverpool's gone a bit wrong, you watch a bit of that and you go, do you know when we used to convince ourselves that's how I was going to compete? Do you remember those days? You're going, oh, fucking hell. Charlie Adams, the answer, he's not. He's certainly not the answer.
I saw someone posted a picture the other day, and it was like there was Ricky Lambert, Sterling, and someone else like
Mario
proper
Balotelli.
random.
Barini.
Yes,
Barini.
proper random in a picture, and I was like, "That is
no, Trent
like,
at the Bernabeu. Was that at the Bernabeu?
yes, Trent, yes, and Trent was like 16." That's
Yeah.
like the weirdest picture of all time. Like, what the hell? Ricky Lambert, Sterling, and Trent.
I think
It's just bizarre.
there was one going around today about Trent, actually. He's on 17 assists now for the season in all competitions. And he's got from now until the end of the season to chase down Dani Alves. Dani Alves' world record for assists for a defender is 21. And if you think that we've got FA Cup games, Champions League, the longer we go on that,
There's a potential.
league games, there's potential for him to catch Dani Alves' record.
Yeah. Well, if the
that
season
record
goes
is 2010-11, I think.
Yeah, if the season goes the way we want it to go, it's a potential 20 games.
Yeah.
So,
I think he'll get close.
That's a lot of games, though.
Yeah, I think he'll get close to it. Whether he beats it, I don't know. But my God, I mean, that was Dani Alves. That was peak Dani Alves during the
It was ridiculous.
best Barcelona side. And if Trent can get anywhere close to that at 23 years of age, phenomenal.
Cool. Right. So before we go, like you said, don't forget Féileacáin. So I don't know, Kev, have you got the total we're up to at the moment?
I don't have the total, but the link for the description for Féileacáin is in there, and I'm sure the total is on the web. Is you can get through the link. If not, look, Gav will be back up on probably. Gav might actually be around on Friday. We don't know yet.
Oh yeah,
But
is he going full sports unplugged?
Well, the thing is, he said he was going to come on with us because the players' golf is on at the weekend, and you know what he's like with his golf. You'll have him jump around.
We're doing sport. We're not doing golf. If we talk about F1 next,
recap the UFC as well because that happened last weekend.
Oh,
we can recap the UFC was good actually.
Yeah, I missed it. I
didn't
have
exactly
to.
How I said it was going to play out.
Yeah,
So.
well, it helps when you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know what the totals are. Pretty sure the golf day is almost sold out. But it's going to be all the little donations now that get us to the 10 grand. You know, the fivers, the tenors. You know, as and when if people can. But the most important thing is just click on the link, click on the share, and share it in your WhatsApp groups, share it in your socials, and just tell people because it's so. Look, all the details are on the charity website. I guarantee you'll have known someone who will have needed that service, and now that you know it's there, you know where to point them in the future. Unfortunately, it's one of those services that no one ever wants to need, but it's handy to have it in the back of the head if it comes a time where you might actually do need it. So.
Yeah, Lord Duffy saying, "Watch out, Brocky. It's a slippery slope from golf to black pudding." Yes, look,
doesn't take long to get there.
We had to end the stream when we started talking about that nonsense. God,
well, black pudding, toasted sandwich.
Oh, don't start. Listen. I'll get my pillow and go back to sleep again like you did last time. When you tried to make me interested in F1, it wasn't happening. Just cars go around the circle. It's not interesting. It's really
I did zigzags as well.
Oh, well, I'll get a Scale Electric. Just get a Scale Electric. If you want to see that, get Scale Electric. It's a lot cheaper and you can interact with it.
Oh,
brilliant. Man. Right, listen, it's 11:10, so look, we've kept people for long enough tonight. Yeah. So rest of the week, I think we're having a night off tomorrow. Then we're back on Friday, Sports Unplugged. So it'll be me, Luke, and Kev. We'll be covering lots of things. Maybe Gav. We might have the boss on as well. You never know. Saturday, we'll have post-match reaction to the Brighton game. Hopefully, it's another Liverpool win. And then Sunday, it'll be Fatback 4 again with the usual crew. Luke, we'll see you Friday. How's your other pod going, bud? Let's talk.
Yeah. We did a video earlier today about whether or not Klopp will extend. Rashford spoke about Everton probably going down. Yeah, so check that out on Let's Talk Sport.
Awesome. And Kendall, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, just Kendall Rawn. If you want to find me, I'm sure if you search me, you'll be able to find me somewhere. Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, anything like that. So yeah, thank you for having me once again. Really appreciate it, and I always enjoy these shows.
Oh, that's great. I'm sure we'll hopefully get you on again soon, Kendall.
100%.
Kev, I'll probably speak to you in 5 minutes because You know, you never leave, you never
Better
leave,
not,
you
man.
never
My
leave me
missus is
alone.
going to be home from work in a minute. I've got things to do.
Well, you gotta get your bleach for your mohawk, haven't you? You gotta start practicing.
If I don't get the washing up put away, I'm.
You're in trouble. You won't be seeing Kev again.
It won't be Mohawk. I'd be worried about. I guarantee
Tell
you.
you, you won't need UFC when Kev's wife gets there.
Well done.
Right, listen. On that happy note, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you all very soon.